If you've never sold anything on Poshmark before, or you've listed a few items, you're looking to make some extra cash from things you already own, but you don't want to make this a full-time business, you want to keep it casual, then this video is for you. The cool thing about Poshmark is anyone can do it. Poshmark made it so the everyday person can actually just jump on and start selling. You don't need a fancy setup, you don't need fancy lighting equipment, you don't need a fancy workspace. And actually, when I started from my phone. I didn't know what I was doing. I just took something from my closet, took photos, and put it up. Now let's do your first listing on Poshmark. I'm going to actually walk you through step by step how to do your first listing. Now I'm presuming you've already created your Poshmark account. If not, I left the link down to the website below in the description. If you use my code Twice in Style, you get a $10 credit to spend on the platform. And once you purchase something, I get $10. All right, so first, let's look around your home. What can you sell right now? Are there some clothes that you haven't worn for a while that you want to get rid of? Maybe some shoes, books, games, bathroom products. Now, if you're trying to think of more things to sell, down below in the description, I put a link direct to Poshmark's blog post where they talk about what you can and can't sell. One of the tips I do have for picking items to sell in the beginning, especially if they're your own items, pick things that you aren't attached to, things that you don't have emotional feelings towards, because when you go to list the item or sell the item, sometimes your sentimental value or the value you put on the item, you're going to list it higher and have a harder time parting with it. Look at items that are gently used. I wouldn't say if there's damage to a certain point, it's okay to sell. But if it's something that is just a ratty t-shirt that you don't want, that no one else wants, then I would say get rid of it. But before you do, you should actually look up the value, which later on in this series, I will show you how to check comps. You don't have to pick brand name items, but it does help. Go find 1 to 3 items that you would like to list on Poshmark. As you're getting ready to photo this item, don't worry about fancy lights, fancy equipment, backdrop. Just grab your phone to take the photos. The only thing that I would recommend is making sure that the image is clear when you take the photo so someone can know what the item is. Also, make sure there is good lighting. You can use natural light to take these photos. You want it to be clear so people can see the color of the item or see if there's any damages or flaws. Get those photos loaded into Poshmark. Then you want to put your title. And you want your title to be clear on what it is. For an example for a title, let's do this white shirt that I'm wearing right now. It's an H&M linen shirt. In the title, you want to put the brand name of the item, if it's available, put what the item is, and then keywords to follow. For example, this title, what I would title this shirt, I would say H&M shirt, women's large, white, linen, short sleeve, crew neck, lightweight, stretchy top, if that all fits. If not, I would reword it and try it different ways. But this way I hit multiple keywords, what people are looking for: white shirt, white top, H&M linen. There's different things, and it's very clear on who this item is for and what the item is. Next, let's move on to the description. You can keep the description simple. It doesn't have to be this paragraph book. So for this shirt, I would put pre-owned, good condition, no visible flaws, since it's in good condition. Let's say hypothetically there is a hole on the sleeve. I would say pre-owned, good condition with flaw, small hole on the right sleeve. Please see photos so people know clearly where the flaw is and that there's photos showing where the flaw is. Then I like to add the size of the item so it's clear what the size is. And I also like to add the measurements of the item. Now, previously I used to write the measurements in the description. Now, during my photo process, I have a yardstick and I'll just lay it over pit to pit when the shirt is flat and then measure from top to bottom. That way people can see the exact measurements, so that way they can decide if this is the best fit for them. If it's a long sleeve shirt, I'll measure the sleeve as well. And if there's anything else interesting about the shirt that you want to add, whether it's a graphic design or colors, and I also like to note if the image wasn't necessarily clear on the color of the item or didn't depict something clearly, which that can happen, I state saying, note, this item is a little more light green than dark green in the photo. Then you'll continue on down, filling out exactly what category the item goes in, the colors. For the tags for this shirt, I would add linen, maybe summer, lightweight, or stretch, things like that. Now you've got everything loaded in, filled out, and the only thing left to do is pricing. Dun, dun, dun. Pricing. How do we price? Okay, this was something I was struggling with when I first started. What the hell do I price the item at? I priced my first item based on what I thought the item should be priced off of it. Good thing I was reasonable with the price and it's sold. There is no wrong way or right way to do pricing. It's your way. What works best for you and what works best for me or what I like to do may not be what you like to do. So one pricing strategy is to price high, meaning go above what the market is willing to pay for it. So that way, if someone shows interest in your item, you have room to send bigger offers. The other option is to price low, meaning this undercuts what the item is really valued in at the market. This does not give you wiggle room to send bigger offers. Another pricing strategy would be market to match pricing, meaning you would price the item exactly where it is in the market. Poshmark does take a fee. If your item is $15 or below, they take $2.95. And if the item is above $15, they take a 20% fee. These fees that Poshmark takes out are just for Poshmark. If you decide to send an additional offer, discounting the item or sending shipping discounts, more of your profits will be taken off of the item. And the way you can check is when you send offers, it actually shows you and tells you what the profit of your item is going to be, which is nice that they tell you so you're aware that you're not going to send an offer and only make $1. Now, of course, the price that you pick and you list the item at is not forever. You'll be able to adjust it. You can raise the price if you want. You can lower the price if you want. You can send offers. So there's multiple things you can do. The price is not set in stone when you do it. Now, if pricing is still a little overwhelming for you, don't worry. Later on in this series of the Casual Reseller's Guide, How to Make Extra Money on Poshmark, I actually show you how to check comps and give you more pricing strategies that you can use. Now that you've filled everything out, list it and celebrate. You are officially a casual reseller. Now you might be wondering, how long is it going to take to sell? Well, there's not one right answer. It could take a week, it could take a month, it could take over a year. It really depends on the item and what you're selling, the condition of the item, the desirability of the item, the searchability of the item. So is your title structured so someone can find it? Are the photos clear that someone knows exactly what they're buying? There's so many different things that go into it, and not one answer can always be right. Now, if you're like, nope, my photos are perfect, description is great, title's good, then it comes down to the sell-through rate of the item. Is it a saturated item in the market to where there are 300 listed but only 4 sold? It's going to take forever to sell. But if you have something and there's 20 listed but 50 sold, that's going to sell much quicker. And I will talk about sell-through rate in another video in this series. Let's say the item hasn't sold. It's been over 3 months, almost 6 months. You can relist the item. That's okay. And maybe tweak the photos or tweak the title. Actually do your own audit and say, what can I do better to sell this item? If the item doesn't sell in a certain amount of time, you don't have to delete it. I've had stuff listed that sold a year and a half after I listed it. It was just waiting for the perfect buyer. Now, the first few listings that you do may take a while for you to figure out how to list and get in the rhythm and filling out all the information. But once you figure it out and get in the groove, it becomes so much faster and easier to do. Practice, repetition, you get better. We covered a lot in this video, especially doing your first listing. This series is meant to be low pressure and show you that it's actually doable, and you don't need to make this a full-time hustle. I challenge you, if you've never listed on Poshmark, pick one item and list today. Just rip off the Band-Aid and do it. Remember, you can always go in and edit it and improve the listing. It's just getting the first one done that is the hardest. And if you're someone who has listed, but you're feeling stuck and just not making those sales, let me know in the comments, what do you think is holding you back? Why do you think you're not getting those sales? What do you need more clarity on? If this video helped you in any way, like this video and share it with someone who is interested in starting reselling on Poshmark. And make sure you subscribe for future videos. The next video in this series is about my photo process and how to do it quickly and efficiently. The last video I did, I ended with me just rambling about how to say goodbye. I feel just so cheesy, always saying, bye, see you in the next video, peace. I don't want it to seem like goodbye because I feel like I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay. So we're just going to turn every video at the end. I'm just going to have a ramble rant, whether it's related to the video. I'll tell a joke. Well, maybe it'll be a bad joke to you, but it'll be a joke. Or I'll just share some random thoughts. It'll be a question mark of what is going to be said at the end of the video, but we'll never say goodbye. And if you actually have ideas for ramble rants that you would like to hear at the end of the video, leave it in the comments.